sweet boy Biscuit. Hi, Biscuit. Miss you
Namaste right
too.
here.
Namaste. Stay right with us for this whole interview. Thank you for coming in bed with me. You might win the most gorgeous in bed attire prize if I had to have one. That looks
They're the
very
same
cozy.
pajama tops as Jeff Howard when you were in bed with him. And there's a story. Singapore, that's all I can say.
Oh, all right. I'll see where that one lands on social when this is posted. Nice to see you, my friend.
I'm honored that you've invited us to
Mm.
chat with you and be in bed. And I can't say that many females have invited us for this such occasion.
We'll do it this way for now. We'll take everything that this gives us, and then one day we'll see where this lands in the months or years to come. But hey, confirm with everybody where you're joining us from, who you're with, what you're doing, how's it going?
I'm grateful. I am blessed.
Mm.
And I just posted a picture of an x ray of a spinal column and hips with butterflies. Of course, it's not a real picture. But when
Mm.
someone asks me, how are you? I think butterflies in my core
Mm.
explain really well how I'm feeling, which is lots of opportunity. You make a
Mm.
plan for your day, your week, your year. God laughs. You pivot or shift or reimagine and you
Yeah.
move forward. There's a lot of opportunity here.
It's interesting. It's been somebody posted something about this is so tough for the people who are planners. This is an
Right.
interesting time because you live in the constant immediacy of what there is, and every 24 hours something can pivot. And so the adaptability challenges that we face every day for a lot of us are new. For most of us, I think, are new. How are you dealing with just make a plan and then see what happens?
I do. I have a super schedule
Mm.
because if I didn't have a schedule, then I wouldn't be able to keep some semblance of sanity. I
Mm.
wake up and I pray. We're not very boring. I wake up and I pray, how may I be of service today? And I have
Mm.
an agenda almost by the hour. That's not just because I'm a rabbit in the 100-acre wood of Pooh characters, but also because if I didn't have a plan,
Mm.
life would plan me and I'm just not going to live on the news. I won't have that. I'm
Mm.
finding, Natalie, that there are two kinds of people right now. There are people who are counting their days until they can sort of resume, and
Mm.
there are people who wake up making sure that their days count.
Mm. People who are counting their days and people who are making sure that the days count. Tell me about some of those days that have counted more for you, that you felt those were good days.
The days a few days ago after change of year, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, when Puerto Rico had 6 earthquakes, which
Mm.
rendered us pretty just in harm's way for so many things we lost. But just a few weeks ago, depending on when this airs and where this
Mm.
airs, the important thing is we lost all power. And if you take away my Wi-Fi now, when I am socially connected but physically distanced, then
Yeah.
I felt a little bit gutted and suicidal. Otherwise, I think I'm probably in the whole gamut of things in looking at people's depression very blessed.
Mm.
Although those 3 days really made me step up. Because if you take away my cell tower and my ability to talk to you and
Yeah.
ability to text or call mom or do anything, I don't need
Mm.
water. I don't even need electricity and aircon, but I gotta have my Wi-Fi. Can you imagine that?
Mm.
Island mentality sucks sometimes, but you rise above.
Mm. Tell me something you mentioned, I find really interesting. You talked about, seeing how you can serve. If there's one thing I've noticed with you, and we'll talk about all the different things that you've done and everybody that you've connected with, you're one of those people that's always been a connector.
Thank
And
you.
I know I find when it comes to figuring out how to serve, the best way for me to do that is reflect on who I am, who my authentic self is, and dive into that and go back to that because that's the place that brings me joy and that's the place that makes me feel like I'm serving. Is that something that you've noticed? With the things that you've been doing out there, it seems like you're 110% Lawrence right now.
Thank you for saying that. First of all, you are a connector. As soon as you officially left in some capacity CanFit Pro, you were connecting everyone in the industry that you had ever met, both online, offline, on groups and masterminds. And I thought, look at her go. New
Mm.
hairstyle, mega posting, Insta feed followers doubled and then tripled, and you raised some eyebrows in the industry. So let me say, I'm not blowing smoke. You are a connector. And it's one of the things I believe I'm here to do is I don't know much about anything, Natalie. I just put myself in a crowd, if they'll accept me, of people who know far more than I. And
Mm,
I say, A, meet number one. And then I just listen and learn like a parasite from those two.
mm,
To answer your question, so you're a connector as well. No, I didn't step back and say, what are my strengths? I just got emails from all these people, companies, and professionals saying, what do I do now? A couple
mm,
months ago, Lawrence, I have groceries. Lawrence, I have alimony. Lawrence, I have kids. Lawrence, I have personal training clients, but the gym is closed, telling me I can't reach out to the clients because
mm,
they technically belong to the gym. Lawrence,
mm,
am I supposed to continue to teach for free? Lawrence, what am I going to do? Because my entire livelihood comes from 2, 3, 4 Zumba classes a day et al. And all the other questions, right?
right.
And I thought, I can't talk about me. I can only talk about how you can stay relevant and stay fed. Because for the
Mm,
meantime, I don't know the right answer because we're all figuring this out together, which is how I
mm,
preface every consultation from a company or mentoring session. I don't know. However, and then I tell what wisdom I think I've accumulated so far. Because how can we know?
mm,
We could have never predicted this. So when people say to me, what can I do? It's like, well, just remember this: no one works for free. Every mission, and I don't believe we've chosen our fitness industry. Our fitness industry has chosen us because
mm,
we choose caring, loving people who are in our profession for the outcomes, certainly not the income, right? And
mm,
therefore, nobody works for free. Every mission needs a margin. So you got to at least charge something for what you're doing.
mm. How's that resonating with the people you're speaking with?
From my emails, Natalie, in the beginning, I don't know what to do. Now I'm getting, Lawrence, I don't know what to do because I don't want to go back to the clubs that are opening because I
Mm,
used to get paid by class and now I'm getting paid by contribution,
yeah,
i.e., paid by head. And if
yeah,
I'm getting people who didn't belong to my club watching my services and taking advantages of what I'm doing out there socially, including other zip codes, demographics, countries, and continents,
wow.
I'm making 4, 5, 600 USD per class, Lawrence. Why do I want to go back and make my $25? And I'm
Mm,
not saying you never want to, but I'm saying let's continue to be versatile more than ever. I'm so happy that people are now saying to me, what do I do now, Lawrence? Before it was, what do I do? I need to buy my groceries and I have
right.
zero income.
Mm,
Now, Lawrence, I'm not really so sure I want to go back because even if I got paid by the head, now the club's only allowed to have 10 people instead of 25, right?
yeah.
Because of physical distancing. So I think you have to be creative and versatile now more than ever, and that's social.
And figuring it out. I saw something this morning post. I think it was a an article from Ursa, and I can't. I'll try and find which gym it was, but they put something about social fitnessing, and that's what they called what it was. Thank you for social fitnessing 6 feet apart, and I'm like, that's clever and cute, and I love loving the
I
little
love that. I haven't
right.
heard that. I think it's a great new hashtag, and I think it's 6 feet to use your quote in some states.
Yeah,
Some places it's 10, some places it's 14, some places it doesn't exist. This is we're
someplace
going
it's
to see.
2 meters.
Right,
The
right,
metric system
right,
in Canada, 2 meters,
right.
or the length of a hockey stick is what they
Okay,
talked about in Toronto. Because
right.
welcome to Canada in terms of that. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see which clubs are able to bring people back, which clubs stay connected with them. I did one of these with Scott Wilderman, who's out in Alberta, and Scott has been in touch with his team every single week since this started. And that tends to be the question when people call me and they're like, I don't know what to do. Same kind of question. Do I want to go back? Do I not want to go back? And how long will it be? And I'm like, have they been in touch with you? Has your owner, manager, director been in touch with you, asking you how you guys are doing? Has there been some sort of connection? Because if not, and we are so loyal, if not, but you're like, okay, but you need to put food on the table. And if you want to get out there and do something and serve, then let them know. Do you know what I mean? Let them know that that's what you're going to be doing. But it's not like you're poaching people. They're out there hungry to be served. And I've been doing it through my yoga studio because they launched and she stayed in touch with me. But if that was just this, void of any communication, then at some point we realize how impactful the relationships are, because I'm sorry, but people aren't in love with treadmills. They're in love with their instructors and trainers and coaches. So
Right. We are the software of every fitness facility, not the hardware. That's
yeah,
so exchangeable. And now, for most clubs, removed.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So you've been doing these incredible global events every couple of weeks since it started, and I was so privileged to be representing Canada on one of them as you did these global events through the hashtag, or I would say the mission, if I dare say, of Fitness Works. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us how exhausting it is. Tell us how fun it is, and tell us how it's helping our community stay connected.
In 30 seconds or less, right?
Mm,
Fitness works means that we all have to make sure we have communication. If we're taking advantage of fitness services, ask your giver, ask
mm,
your professional, are you being taken care of by your club or your organization? Or how can I make a contribution towards what I'm taking advantage of? Your
mm,
class, your service, your session. And if you are a fitness professional, make yourself available on Venmo or PayPal or Apple Pay or all those things that we can put out there that allow people to make contributions, not donations. Donations are for charities, and
mm,
we're not. We're certified professionals. Therefore, people can make contributions if we have this communication. Fitness works all over the world, but not for free.
mm.
Because I don't go to my teeth cleaning and my therapist and my physical therapist and then my regular doctor and then go around the corner and make a donation, right?
Mhm.
I think we pay for services, or if we're on a sliding scale, make a contribution
Sure.
towards what we're able to afford at that point of time. You, thank you, jumped on in the very beginning before I had a list of high profile names who would say, sure, I'll go on and talk about how fitness works where I am geographically.
Mhm,
Natalie, I appreciate you. And while I appreciate everyone who comes around the world for 6 hours every 2 weeks on a Sunday and sits with me holding my urine, I have to say that you are one of the people in the beginning. And I'll always have a special white book
mm,
with your name in that and Maureen Hagen. And the people said yes before now,
mm,
6 episodes in, when I
mm.
can say we've had the CEOs of everyone almost, who may remain in my white book or may go to another book of another kind of color, not because I'm promoting anything of myself. But if I ask you, it's because I really think you're a mover and a shaker and have something to say. And we're not selling anything but ideas,
Mm,
insights, and inspiration to sit down and go around the world and find out what's working in your country. And we've seen
mm.
dramatic changes in some people's answers, from Singapore that had no lockdown in our very first episode, and
Right.
Tokyo that was just as normal. And now look at the flip flop.
Mm,
We've gone back to Asia, complete shutdown there, and the stock markets of those countries are unfortunately just catching up financially in a negative way
mm,
because the whole global
mm.
pandemic went west.
And then came back around. And
Exactly.
so and so tell us, and they're every 2 weeks, and they can find, if people want to find them and listen to them why they're live or recorded afterwards. What's the
Right.
simplest way to do that?
Like you have a YouTube channel for
Sure.
this.
Okay.
Fitness, you have fitness in bed with you, with a special guest that I'm honored to be a part of. If you go to YouTube and type in Find Lawrence, you'll find Lawrence. You don't ever have to worry about how to pronounce this crazy Italian's last name. And then under Find Lawrence, I have playlists like
Okay.
almost everyone now. And one playlist is called Fitness Works. And
Beautiful.
there's our PSA, which is public service announcement of 4 minutes that every fitness professional and every fit practitioner in the world needs to see, because it's like-minded professionals just having a conversation. That hashtag, you are not alone, in our hashtag United Nations of Fitness. And
Mhm,
then after Fitness Works PSA of 4 minutes, we have the 6 hour show all living on my YouTube channel to get ideas of over 6 hours at a time. Just download the audio and use it as a podcast, or watch how like-minded individuals like yourself, trailblazers, for free with heart as humanitarians, tell people, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? This is what's working in Italy, where they really had to devise ideas quickly. This is what's working in Tokyo when they really don't have social connections like
mm.
we do in other countries.
And I love you that you're doing it every 2 weeks, because it feels like
Thank
every
you.
2 hours everything changes. And so it's, new and new and new, and it's just constantly changing and evolving. And I mean, some of the pieces in there in terms of the, like you said, Fitness Works and the collaboration and the community, that's the thread that is always there that you bring so well to all
Right.
of us across the
Thank
world.
you. Thank
But
you.
there's
And my
always
questions stay the
the ideas
same.
are new. Yeah, your questions stay the same, but the answers are new because you're like, ooh, somebody said this. Hey, that's a good idea. And we revel in that inspiration. So yeah, the inspirational messages, even though the foundation is there, there's always novelty. It's good to go back.
Thank you for saying we revel in those answers. I think you have to be a like-minded individual and have an open mind and open heart, not just
Right.
to get caught up into the presenter and where he is and, oh, it's 6 a.m. in yoga and no wonder his eyes look like that, but really hear a message with an open heart like a
Right.
possibility. As you said with the news, some facts change everything as the
Mm,
news changes all the time, but some facts, Natalie, change nothing. We
mm,
are fitness people here to make the world a better place. And with that open heartedness, it
mm,
doesn't really matter what the news is. It matters how much we want to make something happen and reach our people, even if they're active agers and they're not on Facebook. If
mm.
something's important enough, we find a way. If something's not important enough, we find an excuse.
Lawrence, tell me about, if you could, I'm going to put you on the spot. What are one or two opportunities you're seeing that a lot of people are doing that you think are fantastic, and one or two opportunities you think we might not have caught on to yet?
Great. Two opportunities that I see are fantastic. Jeffrey Howard is a wonderful example, almost in the center of the United States,
Mm,
kind of, in Kentucky, who is showing up every day in full heart with people, with distancing, with equipment, with sponsors, with water jugs, with Coca-Cola bottles, because they'll give him money for that class to throw on a shirt. He's a mover and a shaker and a person of how to do what you want to do.
mm,
I've seen Dion Mason, CanFit Pro presenter, up and coming person, mentee under you
mm,
in Canada, doing a lot of things, not always on camera, then posting a Venmo, here's my contribution link, but also here's a private Facebook group or a Zoom group that you sort of buy or donate into. Those
sure.
are huge success stories from Kentucky and from Canada, respectively.
Okay.
For some things we haven't caught on to completely. I
Mm,
think we haven't caught on to our untapped source of revenue. I am not saying we are therapists, but I am saying if you have learned some things in quarantine and your people would love them, I could record myself talking about my lessons in quarantine every Sunday. And I
mm,
have new lessons every Sunday for half an hour on my iPhone, upload it to YouTube, keep it unlisted, and charge everybody I know who's willing $5 for that wisdom. I have never had so many donations, so many contributions, because I donate to my charity, what my website generates,
mm.
and I think we're untapped in the ways we can create community to our people.
Okay.
Even if it's on Friday, I'm going Facebook Live, I'm going to open my fridge and we're going to detox it together. Or let me
Yeah.
show you a million and one ways that I've learned to reinvent lentils, because that's really all I have here in Puerto Rico that's staple in the last 3 months that I'm here. And I think we haven't exhausted or explored, Natalie, two things: our online potential and our make money while we sleep offerings as
Mm,
fitness professionals, from blogs and secret YouTube links and entrances into Facebook groups. That's what we haven't explored. We just think they want to sweat with us, but they want
yeah.
social connection and they want to know more of what we're about.
Yeah, it's the sets and reps and choreography. There is a lot of it out there. It's interesting. I saw something one time. The difference between, it was Gary V that posted it, but the difference between content and context and access to you and what you have. One thing I have noticed, thank goodness to help with that, is a lot of the nutrition certifications are selling a lot. A lot of the prehab certifications are selling a lot, because I think fitness professionals at large are realizing that the workouts are one thing, but for them to become that much more complete as a source of health and fitness, it's nice for them to be able to grow their brand and have more variety than, I don't want to say just, but that go beyond the workout. And
So what I
so,
hear you saying, Natalie, is it's also a time to self-explore and
yeah,
self-better, so that when
yeah,
we can come back, we in front of a camera or in front
yeah.
of people are just more untouchable, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
So how about if
yeah,
for all your listeners,
yeah.
I make an offer that is completely a gift. If I get an email that's blank and in the subject, anyone interested to get a free copy of my book, Cream Rises: How to
Oh,
Be Great On and Off Camera in Fitness for
mm,
Professional,
mm,
Personal Training, and Group Fitness, send me an email. I'll tell you my email in a second. And all you do in your subject line is write the name of my book, Cream Rises
cream
in
rises.
Bed. Cream Rises in Bed, which is a whole other story of what you think you're going to be asking for, but you're going to get a book back, not DVD, I promise. That's a whole other private channel on my YouTube. But Cream Rises in Bed, and I will get you a copy of my book. including the uploads, which are called cream puffs, where I
Yeah.
sort of illustrate in action some of the chapters coming to life for all your viewers who want to take some time to explore the secrets or hacks to being business savvy in front of people and in front of a camera.
Oh, that's so generous of you. That's a great idea. Cream rises in bed. I'm going to test it myself right as soon as we get off this. A great book and featuring so many wonderful people that are still being really generous out there.
Thank you. Least I could
You,
do for you, you've asked me. And it doesn't matter when you are watching this, as long as I'm alive and I get your email and not my spam, although I monitor that several times daily, you
okay.
will get a copy of my book.
Cream rises in bed. Thank you. You,
Lawrence at findlawrence.com. That's my
Lawrence
email.
at
Yeah.
findlawrence.com. Cream rises in bed, Lawrence at findlawrence.com. Beautiful. Thank you so much, my friend. I've been practicing these virtual hugs. Touch
Aw.
people, squeezing you all around. Chad Benson to give me a little virtual hug and big kisses to Biscuit. Lots of love to you. Thank you for
Thank you.
everything that you're doing. It's
My
always a
pleasure.
source of filling up the cup. It's hard to rise when you're empty. And so you are one of those places that helps us fill up so we can keep rising together. And on behalf of everyone, I'm so internally grateful for all of your generosity and your spirit. Je t'aime, mon ami.
Oh, I love you back.
Thank you so much.